This is Aussie Mac Zone. We'll cover everything Apple, including Macs, iPhones, iPads, and more. All this from an Aussie perspective. Sit back, relax, insert yourself into the zone. The Aussie Mac Zone.
Hello everybody, welcome to show 326 Aussie Mac Zone. Different day this week. Zarn's been a bit crook. How are you, sir?
No, I'm just joking. I'm all right. I don't have the corona, much as I'd like to have one right now.
And so we missed last night because you was crook. And we're a bit
Still
early.
am, but I'm all right.
Yeah. Well, he thinks he's all right. But
Well,
anyway,
no.
she doesn't say that. So tonight, IT Help to You and Aussie Tech Radio.
No, Glenn, not corona.
Our Aussie Apple ramblings this week. Apple closed all stores worldwide, except in Greater China until March 27 to start. Apple Inc. is closing all its retail stores, except those in Greater China, for the next 2 weeks to minimise the risk of coronavirus transmission. Apple reopened all 42 of its branded stores in China last Friday as the number of new cases fell in the country where the outbreak originated from. Apple's hourly workers will continue to receive pay in alignment with business as usual operation, Cook said, and online sales will continue as usual. In all of our offices, we are moving to flexible work arrangements worldwide outside of Greater China, he added. That means team members should work remotely if their job allows. The company's donations to the global coronavirus response to help treat those who are sick and to help lessen the economic and community impacts reached 24 million Australian on Friday, Cook wrote in the letter. So yeah, pretty big impact.
Yeah. But well done. Like I like that. Because I feel like Apple was on top of it straight away.
Yeah.
You know, they really did make sure that everyone was safe and that they were going to do the right thing no matter what.
Yeah.
And so it's good.
Yeah. Now, Apple's Worldwide Developers Conference 2020 kicks off in June with an all-new online format. WWDC 2020 to feature an online format with a keynote and sessions connecting millions of developers around the world. Apple announced it will host its annual Worldwide Developers Conference in June, now in its 31st year. WWDC 2020 will take on an entirely new online format packed with content for consumers, press and developers alike. The online event will be an opportunity for millions of creative and innovative developers to get early access to the future of iOS, iPadOS, macOS, watchOS, and tvOS, and engage with Apple engineers as they work to build app experiences that enrich the lives of Apple customers around the globe. We are delivering WWDC 2020 this June in an innovative way to millions of developers around the world, bringing the entire developer community together with a new experience, said Phil Schiller, Apple's Senior Vice President, Worldwide Marketing. The current health situation has required that we create a new WWDC 2020 format that delivers a full program with an online keynote and sessions, offering a great learning experience for our entire developer community all around the world. We'll be sharing all of the details in the weeks ahead. So just a bit of background there. They already stream their not only the keynote that they give, but they also stream the other talks that are given during the week.
Because we watch it every year. So.
Yeah, but not necessarily live. Where now they're going to be live with people talking, asking questions, etc.
Yeah.
And for registered developers, you can get in and actually ask questions.
And so you can watch during the day.
With all of the new products
excellent.
and technologies we've been working on, WWDC 2020 is going to be big, said Craig Federighi, Apple's Senior Vice President of Software Engineering. I look forward to our developers getting their hands on the new code and interacting in entirely new ways with Apple engineers, building the technologies and frameworks will shape the future access across all Apple platforms.
Awesome.
The WWDC 2020 program will provide Apple's entire global developer community, which now includes more than 23 million registered developers in more than 155 countries and regions.
Yep.
And the next generation of app developers with their insights and tools needed to turn their ideas into a reality. Additional program information will be shared between now and June by email, in the Apple Developer app and on the Apple Developer website. Apple has also announced it will commit $1 million to local San Jose organisations to offset associated revenue loss as a result of 2020's new online format. The App Store is the world's safest and most vibrant app marketplace with over 500 million people visiting each week. It remains the safest place for users to find software and provides developers of all sizes access to customers in 155 countries and regions.
I'm in there all the time.
Developers have earned over 155 billion with a B since the App Store launched in 2008, with an active install base of more than 1.5 billion Apple devices. WWDC 2020 will allow developers to learn about the new technologies and frameworks they rely on as they create new app experiences in areas included augmented reality, machine learning, health and fitness, home automation, and more. So yeah, big year so far. Now a reminder, this week we are brought to you by AussieTechRadio.com. Now, as we've stressed to you before, just have it on, playing in the background, AussieTechRadio.com. It's got EFTM, the podcast.
Two Blokes Talking Tech.
Yeah, Audio Pizza.
Geeks Interrupted.
Aussie Mac Zone.
Aussie Tech Heads.
Yeah, and we know for sure Vertical Hold's also there. So yeah, just have it playing in the background. Honestly, you'll learn something new every week, and it'll help you along.
Absolutely.
Whether you do it for a living or enjoy it. So yeah. Now what about gaming this week, young Zarn? What do you got for me?
Well, I've got the first one, which was recommended to me by the App Store, which was a shame, really. It's called Don't Bug Me. This game it's got simple graphics and is easy to play, but it just wasn't my thing. I just couldn't get into the gameplay. And I don't know, maybe if the storyline was a little, more with it, I guess. Overall, I got bored pretty fast and lost interest. I gave it 2 apples out of 5.
Two's not very much, is it?
No, I wish there was more, because it did get recommended to me by the App Store. So, unfortunately, it just sort of fell apart for me. I don't know what happened. I'm willing to give it another chance, because I always do. If I give a lower rating to a game, I'll always go back and replay it and try to just revisit it to make sure I've made the right decision. So you'll probably hear more about that in the next few weeks. But at the moment, that's where I'm sitting with it. So yeah. Game 2.
Yeah.
Yep. So by now we all know that I like a platformer game, and Dodo Peak is no exception to this fact at all. I love this game, and I had a great time. It was just so much fun. It really was. You have to save your babies. You're climbing up peaks and stuff, and you're a dodo bird, obviously. You got to avoid the obstacles and your enemies, and like any good platform game from the past, also had awesome level selection. You had your bad guys and your bosses and all that sort of stuff. So I'm going to give it a 3.8 out of 5 apples, because it was really fun. Yeah. And
being a dodo bird.
Yeah. Dodo bird. Who would have thought? Like, do you remember? What was it called? It was back in the 80s, when most of our viewers probably weren't even born. You guys doing a double act?
Yeah.
And I can't remember the name of the game now, but it's that level jumping and avoiding your enemies, and then you got to dodge obstacles. It was just a really well relived platformer, and it was quite modern as well. So it it gives you the nostalgia feel, but it was quite modern and fun.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Now, we're also brought to you this week by IT Help to You. Simple Apple support. You want anything on Apple that you want supported, give us a call. That's what we're here for.
Yep.
Send us an email, whatever you like. Look us up, www.ithelp, the number 2, the letter U, .com.au. ithelptoyou.com.au. Email, look at the website, whatever you like. We're Apple specialists for how long? 1984, so it's 20...
What's that? So it's 10, 20, 30. Oh,
35.
Yeah. A while. A while.
Yeah.
It's
So-
36, isn't it? 36 years.
So that's what we do. Yep.
When I explain that to people, when they're asking, do I know anybody, do I recommend, so somebody who can work on Apple or Mac, products, I'm like, I do have a guy. I've been doing it for, over 30 years. And they're like, how? He's been there since the beginning. Like,
That's right. 1984 when I joined the camp.
Yep. This is how to set up hour reminders on your iPhone and Apple Watch to wash your hands and stop touching your face.
Yes. So 9 to 5 Mac helps us with the coronavirus outbreak becoming more serious in the US and around the world. You've likely heard many times about the important steps to stay healthy and curb the spread of the virus, like washing your hands often and well, not touching your face. However, those can be tough habits to change.
Definitely.
Let's look at how to set up hour reminders to wash your hands and stop touching your face on iPhone and Apple Watch.
So I'm bad for this. Like, I'm not washing my hands. I'm actually quite good at washing my hands. I just want to say that. But touching my face, because I've got my beard now, and over the years, you've all seen the crazy haircuts and beards and not beards and everything I've had. But now I've got a full beard, and I touch it all the time. And I've got to keep reminding myself, stop touching your beard. Like, put something, I'm going to end up catching something.
Just to go on a tangent for a sec, I took a photo which I haven't showed you yet while I was away on the weekend, and the shop was called Grave Before Shave.
Excellent. Excellent. Sounds like a type of store. Actually, my dad gave me some beard oil. Total different tangent now. Gave me some beard oil on the weekend, and it smells amazing.
Yeah.
It smells like the woods. I put it on, and I'm like, smell that, and I go to Kellyanne, and she's like, oh, it's manly. I'm like, isn't it? I don't know if I should be wearing it. Give someone a false sense of, he knows what he's talking about. No.
iPhone and Apple Watch can be great tools to help stay healthy and flatten the curve of the coronavirus outbreak. Just like the hourly stand reminder, Apple Watch users get, look at a couple of options, including Apple's Reminders app. All right, so we'll look at the option for Apple's Reminders app.
Yep. And a third-party app?
No, we're not going to look at the third-party app.
No.
I just thought the Apple one, everyone's got it.
Yep.
The article will have it on, but yeah, we'll just read it out, the Apple app.
Glenn says, the eighth of an apple will go bad.
Now, so we got keep washing our hands, and we've got to break habits, as in touching our face. So research shows that it often takes up to 2 months to make a new habit stick. Not touching your face is probably more difficult to change than adjusting your hand washing routine, but constant reminders on your iPhone or Apple Watch could significantly shorten that time frame. The Centre for Disease Control,
CDC,
officially recommends washing your hands with soap thoroughly for at least 20 seconds, while other resources say 30 seconds. So how to set up...
We're telling the kids at school 30 seconds
Yeah.
to wash your hands thoroughly after each class if they can.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So how to set up hourly reminders to wash your hands on your phone and Apple Watch. So open the Reminders app and create a new reminder. Tap the eye to the right of the reminder. Tap the toggle next to remind me on a day. Tap toggle next to remind me at a time. Choose repeat and choose hourly or custom, and then you tap done. So that'll put it on a reminder on your phone. You're wearing your watch, you'll get reminded every hour.
Yeah.
At a quarter past the hour, 20 past the hour, 27 past the hour, whatever you like, whatever sort of fits into your schedule.
Yep.
That's what it'll do. And the idea is you're trying to create a new habit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And two, if you've washed your hands at the beginning of the day with soap thoroughly, you can then reapply with your sanitizer.
Yeah.
You don't need to go in, soap your hands up like you're a doctor or anything like that. It's just saying keep yourself clean and just remind yourself to do it.
Mm-hmm.
That way we're not spreading germs. Yeah.
So we've got a pro tip as well.
Yeah.
Skip the manual setup and use the Siri Commander to set up hourly reminders. Something like, hey you, remind me to wash hands every hour starting at 3:23.
Yeah.
And every hour from 3:23 onwards, it'll go ding. So yeah.
That's great advice.
Simple as that.
A pro tip. So anybody that can do that. Anybody can ask. I can't say her name or his name or whoever you've got speaking to you.
Yeah.
I can say him. I can say Siri, and Siri, sort of however you like to pronounce it. And you can just ask her to do that or ask him to do that, and yeah, that's how I'm going to do it. How to number 2.
Yeah, go for it.
How to deal with movies that bounce from too quiet to too loud. I've included this because we may be spending a lot more time isolated in the near future. Popular science advice. I love big movie explosions as much as anyone. But I have a bone to pick with movie studios. It feels like every time I watch an action movie, I have to turn the volume way up just to hear the characters speak. Bothers me so much. Or I go from Netflix to Stan, and the levels on each one are so much different. Oh, anyway, back to this. The characters speak, then quickly turn it down every time something explodes, and when I'm not quick enough on the draw, my sleeping wife gets very angry. Very angry. Oh my God. Why are you listening to that so loud?
Yes.
Oh my God.
Yes.
Or the music. You've turned it up so you can hear them talk, and then all of a sudden the music kicks in even before the action starts.
Yeah.
And it just blows everyone away. And, the last thing I want to do is wake up my 13-month-old son and then who wakes up my wife, because it's not worth it. Yeah. Why do movies do this? It all has to do with dynamic range, the difference between the loudest and the softest parts of a soundtrack. The wider the range, the larger the dynamic impact, explains Scott Wilkinson, audio-visual technician, journalist and consultant, and the home theatre geek on twit.tv. In other words, they mix it that way so when the explosions finally happens, it kicks you in the guts and rocks your world. Like when you're watching it and you're ready and it boom and you're like, whoa. So excellent. Yeah, you really, it gets you in there. You want that to happen. The problem is sometimes you don't want your world rocked. I just want to say that I always want my world rocked. Sometimes you just want to relax while watching superheroes punch each other in the face without waking the neighbours. Yep, that's true too. Through your paper thin walls and your dynamic range becomes a lot less desirable. This is generally not a problem in commercial cinemas, which have high quality sound systems and good acoustics, Wilkins says. So you can hear and understand quiet dialogue in one sense without lessening the impact of loud explosions in other scenes. Even if these movies get remastered for home viewing, most people are using weak TV speakers in a less than ideal room with the air conditioner running. Yeah. Guilty. In the background, it's a recipe for unintelligible dialogue and constant volume tweaking. On you, what's that? On your Apple TV.
On your Apple TV.
On
Sorry,
your...
that's a typo there. Yeah. So we go to settings.
Hey, James is watching. Excellent.
We go to video and audio. And we set reduce loud sounds to on. And that should level out the whole sound, the whole dynamic range. It's not just the loud sounds. It's sort of boosted up so that whatever volume set up's a lot more level. Yeah. So something to think about.
Yes.
I've turned it on now just to see what it's like. I haven't actually listened to a really loud movie or anything yet, but
I always get in trouble for this. Like, seriously, almost on a nightly basis.
So, Bill Gates leaves Microsoft board. So I know this is not to do with Apple, but
still something pretty big.
Still big, yeah.
And it's in the IT world.
Bill Gates is leaving Microsoft's board. The company announced on Friday. Gates co-founded Microsoft in 1975 with Paul Allen, who passed away in 2018. Gates is among Microsoft's top shareholders. I like this one. He's among Microsoft's top shareholders, and he owns 1.3% of the shares, according to fact sheet. So there must be a lot of shares for him. Now, Microsoft announced on Friday that Bill is leaving the board effective Friday. Gates is also stepping down from his position on the board of Berkshire Hathaway. I've made the decision to step down from both of the public boards on which I serve, Microsoft and Berkshire Hathaway, to dedicate more time to philanthropic priorities, including global health and development, education, and my increasing engagement in tackling climate change, Gates said on LinkedIn. Yeah.
Philanthropic.
The leadership at the Berkshire companies and Microsoft has never been stronger, so the time is right to take the step. With respect to Microsoft, stepping down from the board in no way means stepping away from the company, Gates said. Microsoft will also always be a part of my life work, and I will continue to engage with Satya and the technical leadership to help shape the vision and achieve the company's ambitious goals. I feel more optimistic than ever about the progress the company is making and how it continues to benefit the world. Gates was CEO until 2000 when Steve Ballmer took over the role. Microsoft's current CEO, Satya Nadella, took over in 2014. Gates was director of the board at Microsoft until 2014, but began dedicating more of his time to the Bill and Melinda Gates Foundation in 2008. So well done and congratulations, Bill.
Absolutely. What a outstanding career.
Yes.
So
absolutely.
Yeah.
Now this one, I'm very cranky about this one. I'd say the S word or the F and S word.
Yeah.
But we're a good podcast.
We are. We're a family-friendly podcast.
Yes.
Mum's iPad stolen while she was saving a man's life. Yahoo reports a Good Samaritan was robbed when she stopped on the side of the road to save an elderly man who had no pulse. Mother of three, Latara Ogle, I should know Ogle, I have family with the same last name, was flagged down by a woman while she was driving to Perth on Wednesday. Ms. Ogle told WA Today she could see the woman was quite distressed and she pulled over to see what was going on. What was wrong, only to find an elderly gentleman who had stopped breathing. In a statement to Yahoo News Australia, WA Police Force confirmed at 3:15 p.m. on Wednesday a woman pulled over to assist a man on the side of the road with a medical emergency. Due to her daughter's medical condition, Ms. Ogle is trained in CPR and was able to revive the man. She is also studying health science at university. She turned to a bystander and asked them to retrieve a resuscitation mask from her car, and the man never returned with the mask. After saving the man's life, Ms. Ogle jumped in her car and made her way home. It wasn't until later she realised her iPad was missing. While she was performing CPR, it was sitting in the passenger seat of her car. The car was locked before that. The iPad was in it, and when I got home, it was gone, she told 9 News. Whilst providing medical assistance, the woman asked a male bystander to get her first aid kit out of the glove box of her vehicle, and he didn't return. A WA police force spokesman told Yahoo News Australia. It is unknown if the male went to her vehicle. The iPad not only included photos of her children, but a thesis for university, she told WA Today. Some of the most recent edits were not yet backed up, and the device itself is disabled, so it is no use to the person who took it. 9 News reported the man who she saved was in a stable condition on Thursday night. Although Ms. Ogle does want her iPad back, she does appreciate there are more important things. I think materialistic things can be replaced, but people's lives, they can't, she told 9 News. There's no price on that. Well done for saving Ms. Ogle for saving that man's life. And shame on you, whoever's took her iPad.
Yes. Now, Australia sues Facebook for $529 billion with a B dollars. That's more than the government makes in a year. Mashable reports Facebook is being sued by the Australian government for allegedly violating the country's privacy laws, with the requested damages potentially reaching $529 billion. The Cambridge Analytica data scandal may have been years ago now, but its effects linger on. According to the suit filed to the Australian Federal Court on Monday last week, Facebook violated the privacy of approximately 311,127 Australians by disclosing personal information to the This Is Your Digital Life app between 2014 and May 2015. The developers of the app sold personal information to Cambridge Analytica, which used it for political profiling.
Jesus.
The Office of the Australian Information Commission alleges that Facebook failed to take reasonable steps to protect those individuals' personal information from unauthorised disclosure, and further disclose said information for a purpose other than that for which it had been collected. Both are violations of Australia's Privacy Act 1988. We consider the design of the Facebook platform meant that users were unable to exercise reasonable choice and control about how their personal information was disclosed, Australian Information Commissioner and Privacy Commissioner Angeline Falk said in a press release. Facebook's default settings facilitated the disclosure of personal information, including sensitive information, at the expense of privacy. The suit alleged that the majority of the affected Australians didn't actually install the app themselves. Instead, their data was collected after their Facebook friends downloaded the app, giving them no reasonable opportunity to opt out. The OAIC claims only 53 people in Australia downloaded This Is Your Digital Life app.
Wow.
Each alleged violation carries a maximum penalty of $1.7 million Australian, which is a significant mountain of cash by itself, but when multiplied by the 311,000 cases alleged by the OAIC, it grows to an almost comical sum of $529 billion. For comparison, the Australian government's total revenue in 2019-20 is estimated to be $537 billion. And it won't be anywhere near that because of all our situations this year.
Okay.
However, the OAIC told the Australian Financial Review that the court could potentially consolidate all these cases into a single breach, which would reduce it back to 1.7 million. Now, anything else, Zarn?
Stay safe.
Yeah.
Be smart.
Yeah.
You don't need that much toilet paper. You know.
And at Albury and Wodonga Tonga didn't have any toilet paper either.
No, it's not just here. It's like the United States. I listen to podcasts, from all over the world, and I, follow other, sort of people from all over the world on Twitter and Facebook and stuff like that. And it's not just here; it's everywhere.
Yeah.
Even it's in the UK, it's in the US, it's here. And
like the shop, like Coles and Woolies are having, like between 7 and 8 in the morning.
Yeah.
So that elderly people can go shopping.
Yeah.
The only hassle is that they haven't stocked the shelves of toilet paper, for example, at that time.
Yeah.
So that people still can't get it.
Well,
and they said this morning that there's definitely not a supply issue. It's just the restocking. So they're employing more people to do more restocking.
Yeah, well, that's right.
Things
Well,
are
they
being
said
sold out.
I seen that Woolworths and IGA are both saying that they're going to be having people almost 24 hours restocking now.
Yeah.
Just to make sure that everybody can get what they need.
Yeah, because we're buying up for. We are overbuying because we're buying 2 weeks at a time. Another thing to be aware of is don't overbuy on fresh stuff where you're going to end up with a lot more food wastage.
Yeah, you are.
You just got to be really. If everyone was exactly the same and didn't worry about it too much, then it'd all still be on the shelf.
Just take what you need.
Yeah.
Don't be selfish about it. Make sure that everybody else has as much as they need.
One guy in the States I saw today also, he went around to all the shops in his town and bought all of the, what do you call it, the hand sanitizer.
Yeah.
And was trying to sell it as a massive profit on eBay or whatever.
See,
and
it's
then
disgusting.
He got into trouble for that, and
Good.
B, so what he ended up doing was everything that he bought, he gave to a local church to distribute.
Excellent.
Yeah.
Because he got caught though. Otherwise he would not.
Because he got caught. Yep.
Hey Gav, how you doing, mate?
CoronaCast podcast. Now, ABC.
I just downloaded it last night.
Yeah.
Yep.
So ABC Australia podcast, CoronaCast, is a podcast that helps you answer your question or helps answer your questions about coronavirus, COVID-19. They break down the latest news and research to help you understand how the world is living through an epidemic. It is Australian based and will help keep up to date and inform us of the evolving situation.
Yeah.
My suggestion, subscribe.
Absolutely. This is a really good thing. If you subscribe to this podcast and listen, so we're not panicking.
Yep.
And we're not panic buying. And we're treating each other the way we should be treating each other.
Yep.
There's a post on my Facebook that I'll load onto Aussie Mac Zone, where I was in Costco last week, and it was horrible. Like to see, and people, they were allowed to get 1 pack of toilet paper and 1 pack of paper towels each, and people taking them going outside and then coming back into the store. Yeah. Even though they were asked not to do it. I watched 2 gentlemen almost come to blows over toiletry items.
Yeah.
We shouldn't be treating each other like that at all.
Yeah.
It's not who we are as humans. Well, I hope.
And if you've got questions about the epidemic, etc., you can send them into the podcast, and they'll attempt to answer.
Absolutely.
They start every episode with trying to answer questions from the listeners. At least daily, if not more than just daily.
Yeah.
So,
it's a really good podcast,
and it's Australian based,
and it just makes you understand.
Yeah.
So please be safe, people, and please be nice.
Yeah. It's by health people, not by health reporters, not by, music reporters or whatever. You know what I mean? Like it's just
that's
they're
right.
very specialised people that are actually doing the reporting. Don't forget our show notes link each week.
What has Glenn said?
I was going to send you the Solvol, but you keep the filth in your mouth. Good to see.
That's the old Solvol.
Go, Glenny. So don't forget, show notes link each week. The upload being https://aussiemaczone.com.au. This week, of course, being /AMZ326. There you'll see at least 6 weeks worth of show notes.
Yeah.
You can email Michael at Aussie Mac Zone or Zarn at Aussie Mac Zone. Spotify, you just search for Aussie Mac Zone. Apple News.
Apple Podcast.
Yeah. And this week, supported by AussieTechRadio.com and IT Help to You. Most importantly, our supporters, you, our listeners, the most important people. Why am I so red? Because I've been out on the weekend and got sunburnt. I'm an idiot.
I wasn't going to say anything.
It's just so red.
We obviously spoke about this before the podcast. And I said, because he was at a car show, and I said, did you get any good photos? He's like, no. He goes, because I stayed out in the sun and got sunburned, so I couldn't get any good. I thought if I didn't say anything, no one else would notice.
So, over to you for the sign-off, please, Zarn.
Awesome. All right, thanks, guys. Stay safe. We care. And remember, an apple a day keeps the androids away. Bye.
Thank you.